What we tolerate is teaching people how to treat us. Welcome to another episode of LifeCrafting Podcast. This is Irina, and today we're going to talk about relationships, and specifically about effective communication in them. Last year, I posted a poll on Instagram and TikTok, and I asked people to tell me the most frequent reasons why a couple fights. And there was a pretty predictable top three. It was sex, money, and children. But I made a video explaining that the root behind them all is the lack of effective communication. So this is mainly what I wanted to talk about today, but I want to extrapolate the term effective communication to all the interpersonal relationships that we maintain in our life. Because if you really think about it, we hold so many different roles. We are somebody's child. We might be parents ourselves. We are friends. We are partners. We are co-workers. We are employees, and so on. So we interact with a lot of people. And effective communication is an emotional intelligence skill that can help us elevate the quality of our relationships and consequently our life. So I'm pretty sure that throughout all these roles, you have certainly found yourself disagreeing with someone at some point, right? And don't get me wrong, that is absolutely normal. It's very healthy and normal to disagree because that is a consequence of us being authentic. You're not the same exact person as someone else, and that by default means that you cannot agree to anything 100%. However, there is such a big difference between disagreeing and fighting. Try to think the stereotypical fight is usually two people, they might be yelling at each other, one is insisting of something, the other person doesn't understand and tries to push back, and then you can hear insults and so on. And then the whole situation escalates and you don't make something out of it. You don't conclude to a solution. Guess what is lacking from the stereotypical fight? Effective communication. And I almost hear you saying, yes, but I have been communicating. I told him that I didn't like that. I told her this is not acceptable, blah, 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 blah. Yes, you communicated. Communication on its own is the process of letting somebody know about a piece of information, an opinion, whatever. Effective communication is something else. It's the process where usually two or more parties sometimes communicate with each other by sharing data, information, opinions, restrictions, possible solutions, and so on about a specific topic with the intention to find a solution, to find a middle ground. For that to happen successfully, there are some requirements. All involved parties should receive and provide respect, active listening, compassion, and understanding. All parties should have the same common intention, which is to find the best possible solution and make everyone feel heard and understood and respected. So if you compare that to the stereotypical fight that I described earlier, you understand where is the gap. So you understand that you can communicate all you want, but if the other party isn't effectively communicating, this is not going to work. And sometimes the reason why people don't communicate effectively is either because they're unaware and they are not there yet, because don't forget that this is an emotional intelligence skill, which is something that you have to cultivate and practice on. Sometimes the ability to communicate effectively stems from restrictions related to triggers. So let's say that you're married with someone whose parents are pretty invasive and they want to control everything and they invade the relationship and try to assert control. If your partner is not keeping his own or her own parents in check, this is not your business to do so. If you're not happy by that, it's your responsibility to communicate your needs and your opinions and your emotions, but it's your spouse's responsibility to do something about it because it's his or her parents. So if you express your needs and your spouse understands but still fails to do anything about it, that might be because your spouse feels triggered, and that might show an issue between him and his parents and his ability to actually set boundaries and have them respected by his parents. And the sole reason why I refer to that is because it can say a lot about the things that trigger us in a disagreement. I'm not talking about fighting per se, but if you just disagree with someone and you feel that your reaction is disproportionately big compared to the cause, then this might be an indication that this is triggering to you, and there's a reason why this is triggering to you. Maybe there's some sort of memory or connection that has to do with that. And this is a piece of information that I really wish more people would hear about, because it's very easy to point the finger at other people and be like, oh, you never understand, oh, this, oh, that. And indeed, there's so many people that are ignorant, I agree, and so on. But I do acknowledge that everybody, including myself, we do have resistance around certain topics that we are not fully consciously aware about. And sometimes trying to show compassion to ourselves and to other people can really facilitate this safe space for people to loosen up and stop being defensive all the time. So, all things considered, I believe that if we sit down and start examining the quality of our relationships and whether we have effective communication with the people around us or not, and with how many of those people we can actually sit down and work it out, and how many of them will never be able to reciprocate and actually put the equal effort in to facilitate effective communication, this is going to be a very great filter, first of all, about the people that we're going to keep in our life, but also to understand our value and our conscious choices around what we want in life. And all this brings me to the last part of this whole cascade of thoughts that I wanted to share with you guys, which is be very aware of where you navigate your energy towards. Not every action demands a reaction, and not all battles are worth fighting for. Which means that if you go out there and you find people that are not willing to actually communicate effectively with you, you don't need to engage with them. You don't need, or you don't have to expect things from them, because they're not there yet to give it to you. And that is okay. Everybody's journey is different, and it's normal that we're not all on the same level of understanding, awareness, and management. That is fine. But it's also fine for you to set the tone and set the standards for yourself. If you are at a point that you can't provide effective communication, it's pretty normal to feel that you want to have it back. It's pretty normal to feel that you don't want to be a part of an interaction that doesn't meet your expectations and your needs and doesn't make you feel appreciated for all the hard work that you do for yourself. As I always like to remind myself and you guys, the only thing we can control is ourselves. So we have the super duper extra power to also choose if we're going to be a part of a certain friend group, a part of a certain working environment, if we're going to be a part of anything in life. What we tolerate is teaching people how to treat us. So it's up to us to always set the tone and paint the picture of what we want to receive in life. If people are not meeting your standards, it's perfectly fine to let them go and wish them well. There is nothing wrong with that. As long as you live by your values and you're honest with yourself, that's all that matters. Stay authentic, and the good and compatible things will come, stay, and flourish in your life. That was it for today. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It is going to help me tons to get the message out there to any person that might be helped and enjoy this. And see you on the next episode. Bye.